We're joined today by Professor Kimiaki Nishida. Thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you.
Professor, what do you make of the judgment, in this case, the death penalty that has been passed on Shoko Asahara?
Okay, there can be other judgment. So it was suitable for him to take death penalty as the most severe punishment in Japan, because not only his crimes were extremely heinous, we have never seen, but also his many followers had already taken death penalty judgments in their first or second trials. And the judgment of this trial is very important for our Japanese people, because this is the first case of terroristic command by a religious leader in Japanese court history. And Japanese people have been thinking that every religion carry out goodwill, and therefore the government gave some privileges to protect religious groups. Even the police authority has reserved to inspect their activities. It means the trial we have to know some religious founders may have bad will, but their followers have good wills to kill anyone. If we don't focus the point of his religiosity as scared crime, the long time and our huge cost for him, the trial, will become wasteful, because we want to prevent our society from the similar attacks by any kinds of groups, as well as the meaning of apology for his victims through holding his court.
What has been discovered by this trial, and which is judging a series of crimes, not just one in particular?
Well, it was only the fact as record-breaking crimes. It's not still clear why the Guru Asahara ordered some of his followers to attack the innocent people. For the most cases of the court have not dealt with the case as religious murders, but dealt with it as simple gangsters' selfish behaviors. I believe the case is terrorism, that his followers acted up to their guru's religious principles as salvation for all people genuinely. However, there are some exceptive cases as of crimes. Some of his followers' courts, I was requested by defense lawyers to inspect the defendant's believing process and awakening process, as well as their present psychological states. And I was called as a professional witness to explain their psychological processes, what we call mind control. I hope we had better inspect all defendants of Om Shinrikyo minutely from psychological perspective for the purpose of understanding Asahara's nature and making use of protecting our future world.
What was Om Shinrikyo 9 years ago, and what about Japanese society do you think gave rise to this religion?
I think Om Shinrikyo was very attractive for the people who had regular unsolved problems, because he showed clearly for them to appear to solve it, such as finding out the purpose of their life, the good future perspective of the world. And traditional religions played only role for funeral ceremony. In 1980s, although Japanese life began to be rich economically, just then Japanese society lost the spirituality for meaning life. Many young elites were losing the meaning of the useful success in their lives which their parents expected them. Inconspicuous young people were losing the attention as a valuable person from the people surrounding them. And dropouts were losing the potentiality to succeed in their lives.
Om has actually spread to other countries, such as in Russia, and has been implicated in crimes in those countries, such as illegal weapons charges. What do you make of Om Shinrikyo's international capabilities?
I'm thinking that the attacks of Om Shinrikyo influenced on the worldwide terrorist commanders or leaders. They provided the commanders with some new logics for terrorism. One of them is the concept, the targets of attack. they generalized the targets as enemies or worthless person for living. It meant that their targets become to include innocent people around the attack points. And the next logic is concerned with the mean for the attack. They created a precedent attack by fair means or foul means. This is no idea for them of giving maximum damage by an attack.
Has Japanese society changed in the last years, and if so, how, do you think?
No change. The environment for Japanese people has been not improved basically. On the contrary, I fear that Japanese society has been getting worse gradually in these 9 years. Many people are still feeling anxiety, fear, and meaninglessness of their life, and their feeling of a society is more distrustful, dangerous, and terrible than before. Of course, most of the people come to know only the concept cult and the name Om Shinrikyo, but I'm afraid people in Japan have not learned sufficiently from the destructive cult Om to notice radical groups, to protect from deceptive groups, in spite of some expert educative movement in the last 9 years. Most of the people have unrealistic, optimistic ideas, such as, I have no reason, but I'll be able to escape from that trap.
Can we safely assume that there will be no other groups like Om in the future?
No, it's not able to say we'll never receive the similar attacks like Om's one. In our society, there will be many black-hearted, ambitious persons who intend to manipulate tender-hearted people's mind for achieving their selfish desires, such as robbing a huge amount of money or conquest of the world. And our contemporary Japanese society has been vulnerable for destructive cults. I'd like to represent the young adult's mind of each time from 70s to present days by each keyword. I think it's easy for us to understand the contemporary our society's transition. We should say 70s young adults have been conceiving a sense of failure or warped mind. They were pursuing for illusions of communism. We should represent 80s young adults are frivolous people. They could enjoy the rich, but that's all. And the next 90s young adults who are of generations are wandering people. And present young adults are confusing people. These situations mean that any destructive groups which get mind control technique have advantages to control our mind and our society.
Professor Nishi.
Thank you very much.
That was Associate Professor Kimiaki Nishida of the University of Shizuoka, interviewed by Jonathan Scher.